Hi everyone. So it is still Wednesday in my part of the world. I thought I would try and film another one of these videos today before I have to rush off to go pick up Violet. So this is in that series that I was talking about yesterday on how you can help people walking through the journey, and also if you're going through the journey, just some helpful tips hopefully that will help you as you go through this process. So I think the next video I want to do is talking about supporting a friend who is going through infertility. So this is a great video if you are either walking it yourself and you want to share it with some family and friends so they know how best to support you, or if you've got a family member or a friend who is walking through infertility and you just want to know how best to support them through this journey. Let me just say again, as I said in the last one, this is purely from my own journey. This is not a definitive list. What works for me, what might not work for someone else. And the best way to find out whether it's going to work for someone else or not is actually the first point, which is asking the question, how can I help? So for someone, it might be talking about the journey. That was a big thing for me, was being able to talk about it and feeling like people were walking it with me and understanding what I was going through, caring what I was going through. For some other people, it might not be that. Maybe they don't want to talk about it. Maybe they want to go out for a meal or have you just hang out and watch a movie, or I don't know what it is. But the best thing you can do is not talk to them, but ask them to talk to you about it. How can I help you is going to be such a valuable question that you can offer someone, to say, I'm here, I'm open to being being there for you and supporting you. How best can I do that? The next thing is just asking questions and learning for yourself and understanding the IVF or ICSI or IUI process, whatever the journey is that your friend or family member is going on. Ask questions and do some study yourself and learn the process. It makes it so much easier for the person who is walking through the journey if you even if you just get the basics of what they're talking about. If you understand what an embryo is, if you understand what a fertilized egg is, if you understand what ovulation is, if you understand what an embryo transfer is and an egg collection is, if you understand just like the basic stuff of it, so when they're talking to you, that you're not having to go, oh, what is that again? What does that mean? I don't understand what this is. And they're having to explain it over and over to you or to a million different people. Just understanding the basics of how it works. Doing a little bit of research goes a long way. It will make your friend or family member feel that you care so much that they can share more deeply with you what they're going through, and just feel like you can have a proper conversation around it. So do a little bit of research, do a little bit of study. It won't take that long, and it'll make a huge difference to the conversations that you have with the person you're journeying with. The next one is stay clear of giving advice. Unless it is asked for, I would not recommend giving advice. While in your research, you might find things like people need to stress less if they go on a holiday, if they need to lose weight, if they need to do this and that. I can tell you right now that your friend or family member who is journeying through the infertility stuff has probably been researching this nonstop since they found out that this is what was going on with them. They have probably read every article that you have read twice over in 3 different versions by 5,000 different people. They know the advice on how to possibly get pregnant. So unless they ask you about it, unless they ask you, what could I do here? What should I do here? Best to steer clear of advice. The best advice you can give them is, hey, I think do you want to hang out? And let's just chill and just be together and be friends and do something fun. That's the kind of advice. It's not really advice, but you know what I mean? Stay clear of the advice, because all you're doing is making that person feel even worse about themselves, feeling judged and all the rest of it. So that would be my recommendation, is to steer clear of advice. Be understanding. Realize that sometimes there are going to be some family events or events in your life that are going to be maybe quite difficult for this person going through infertility to come to. I'm talking about your child's birthday party or your baby shower or a big family Christmas get together, if your friend or family member says, look, I can't be there, don't make them feel bad. They're trying to look after themselves. The last thing they want to do is turn up at your baby shower and burst into tears while you're opening your presents, or see a bunch of other pregnant bellies there and burst into tears and make a scene and make it all about them. If you can show a little bit of compassion and understanding to them, it is going to make a world of difference. If they call and say, I'm sorry, I can't come to the baby shower, don't make a big deal of it. Say that's totally fine. Just know we would love if you were there, but we completely understand that this is maybe a bit too difficult. Just know that our hearts are with you. It makes a big difference. So if they, over Christmas, decide to go away as a couple, don't make a big deal about it. Just give them some space if they need it. In saying all of that, my next piece of advice is don't stop inviting them to stuff, okay? If they don't have any children, invite them along to your kid's birthday party, okay? Invite them along to your baby shower. Invite them along to all those things. Let them hold your baby. Don't feel like, oh, I don't want them to offer to hold the baby and they get all upset, and that's not what I want. Offer them to hold your baby. Offer them to touch your pregnant belly if you're comfortable with that. Don't exclude them from your journey just because they're going through a hard time. Give them options and give them the ability to say, hey, this is too hard for me right now, and be okay with that. But also, don't not invite them along to things. I always found that myself really difficult. Before we had Violet, and people would have birthday parties for all their kids and all our friends would be there, but we weren't there because we didn't have children, and it would make me really sad that we weren't at least invited along to come along. So don't not invite them to things. Don't feel scared or that you're going to upset them or hurt them if you're pregnant and around them, or you've got your baby around them, because I think they want to be around babies. They want to be around. I wanted to cuddle babies, and there were times where it was too much for me, and sometimes it was really unexpected. I would get upset, but that didn't mean I didn't want to be around their kids and be in their kids' lives and things like that. So that's the other thing. The last point that I wanted to add, and there's probably like a bajillion more points of how you can best support your friends, but the last thing is to stand up for them. If you've got friends or family who are going through this, it's a hard journey, and you might have someone who says something stupid to them, insensitive to them, who pushes them out of the way or says stuff that's mean, or people don't understand what they're going through and aren't trying to understand. This is your opportunity to stand up for your friend and say, hey, we have no idea what it's like to walk in their shoes. Be that advocate for them, because at the moment they're having to advocate for themselves a lot, and they're in a very hurting, painful place. And the more that you support them and encourage them and stand up for them, that is going to mean the absolute world to them, to know that you have got their back. That is the true meaning of family and friendship to me, is when we support, care, love, understand, and just stand up for one another. So I hope that's helpful. Those were the things that really helped me, friends that still kept me part of their lives, part of their experience, understood when I couldn't be somewhere because it was just too painful for me to be there, and asked me what they could do for me. And instead of giving me advice, they put it back on themselves, or what they could be for me, offering meals when we'd had a failed embryo transfer, praying for us, fasting for us. Those are all things that just made such a huge difference. So the more supportive you are, the more open they're going to be with you, and the more you can support them in what is probably going to be one of the hardest journeys of their life. So I hope that's helpful, and thanks so much for watching. See ya. Bye.